Hi, everybody. Welcome to A Fern Between Us, episode 79. And we are back at our set.
Back at home. Oh my God. This is cool. Cheers. Congratulations.
Cheers.
Back to work this week.
And I did just talk over Jesse's usual line. We are two of the four owners. That's Jesse. I'm Michelle. And I'm hoping to get...
Owners of what?
Oh, yeah. Beatbach Winery. Hey, that's the reason we're doing this. You can see we are polished. Yeah, we really know how to do this. I'm hoping to get Chris and Lily in the next couple of weeks and
cool.
Get them to tell us all about, even though Chris has been doing these awesome little videos that are on all of our social media, letting you guys know what he's been doing, which is fun projects in the winery, but I'd like to get both of them on again. If they'd be fun.
Heck yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, so clearly we're a little jet lagged, but we are here.
It's been 5 days, 6 days or something, but we should be better by now, but we're both like today I woke up, I was so tired. I don't understand it. And I've been like tired all day. Like this is as up as I've been all day. I don't know. Weird.
Right? I don't know. I'm having a hard time acclimating back, but I guess that's what happens when you leave for 4 months.
Right?
What? Where am I? The last time we saw you guys, we gave you an update and we were in Strasbourg. We did have the big events that we kind of teased you guys about. And so that was at the Consular General's home there in Strasbourg, the American consular. And that was Winston Churchill's home from 47 to 49.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
Right after WW2, he lived there in the summer times to help, start rebuilding, modern day Europe. So we had this event in that home, which was pretty rad.
It was super cool. I was hired at the last minute to do the New York presentation to some buyers. That was really fun. And I did a little teaser of New Mexico. And then we had the main event, which was hosting New Mexico wines there for some of the most prominent people in Europe. It was so cool.
Totally rad. I don't know what we were doing there, but we were the ones. Or you were the ones. You were the star of the show, which is, the entire reason we were there. And that was pretty wild to be It
was awesome. It was really awesome. And people just were floored. They were so excited about the wines of New Mexico. And of course, being that it is our show, I will tell you a little more about us. The Chardonnay that we have and a Library Petit Verdot were poured. And they showed so outstandingly.
But really all the New Mexico wines as well. I mean, we had maybe, 5 other wineries were represented there, and all the wines showed really well. We had some New Mexico dishes, some Indian tacos, and some tostadas and chips and guacamole. All the good, and we hand-carried New Mexico green chili, New Mexico red chili powder. And the chef there did an amazing job with all of that, which is cool.
She really did an incredible job, and I couldn't believe how much she knew about the flavors.
It was fairly authentic. It was crazy.
Yeah, it turns out she spent 20 years in New York, and during that time, spent some time in New Mexico, fell in love with the food. So she was thrilled to get to play with these flavors and get to do it and be a part of it. So, it was just amazing, and all these really incredible people, they want to come and visit New Mexico now. They are thrilled with the wines that they tasted and the food. They cannot wait to come and visit. So that is a job well done. That was the task, right?
Good job.
Thank you. Woo! I did get some jitters.
She was more nervous than I've ever seen her. In years and years and years, I've never seen her this nervous. I'm like, how can this go wrong? I mean, people in a garden drinking wine and eating some New Mexico dishes. Surely it's going to be
really important people. And it got to me. I wish I actually had not known who was in the audience. I do better that way. But as soon as I started to find out, I was like, oh, whoa, okay. But all wine enthusiasts, and again, all the wines showed really, really well. I try to showcase New Mexico wines at all the different kinds of events classes I teach and things that I can, and I try to share all the love. So any of you that are watching that I haven't gotten you on the bill, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be. I am also writing articles and stuff, so you will get your chance in the sun, I promise.
Day in the sun?
Day in the sun, that's what it is.
Chance at the opportunity?
Chance at the what?
It's something.
Yeah. Let's pretend that I'm not dyslexic and I know how things are said. Okay. So, anyway, so now we're back here. We have gone back to work, which is a little weird. Jesse, you bottled, right?
Yeah, we bottled some wine, some Aglianico. That's awesome.
Which is so stellar, and I've gotten some personal requests saying, when is the Aglianico coming back?
Well, this one might be our best one yet. I don't know. It's to me, it tastes really, really good. Of course, I hadn't tasted any of our wines in 4 months. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. But it was at that party, actually, was the first time I was tasting our wines in so long. And I was like, oh, my God, this is crazy. Like, I recognize that smell and taste, and I really love it. And I miss it. But it also is like, we're not like close buddies anymore. Like, it's taking a second to warm back up to it. You know what I mean? It was like, well, it's just like when you see a friend after so long, it's like, oh my God, it's so good to see you. How you doing? You know, like, you don't know what to say. Like, don't quite recognize they look a little different slightly, you know?
Oh, that's funny.
It was one of those with my own wines, which was fun.
That's funny. I was really pleased at how they showed. I was really pleased with all of the wines that we brought, and I did bring Noisy Water, Sheehan Winery, Luna Rosa, DH-less Combs.
Yes.
They actually are one of the biggest wineries, and they've had to source outside of the state because that's what happens when you're a really big winery. But I brought one of their rosés that is made from 100% New Mexico grapes, and it's really lovely. And so I feel like they're one of the founding fathers of the new wine industry that happened in the 80s that really is responsible for all of us. And so I was happy to give them a little love after so long, you know?
Yeah.
And
they fall outside the box often because most of their wines are somewhat New Mexico, but not 100% New Mexico. And you're always trying to promote New Mexico, exactly what New Mexico could do.
Yeah. And
that means New Mexico grapes. So that was cool to be able to use them.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And wines of the San Juan.
Oh, their wine was amazing.
Everybody's wine was amazing. Everybody showed really well. And there were people that, had favorites for every single wine, which was really fantastic to see. Yeah. That's always really wonderful when there's plenty of love to go around. Yeah.
You distributed it north to south. You got small wineries, big wineries. But also everybody that was there that you were able to pour were showing what New Mexico grapes can make.
Right? I was trying to tell a specific story.
Yeah, they were all done really, really well to demonstrate that. So that was totally rad. It was really cool.
It was.
And we all shown well, so that was great.
Yeah. So anybody that was part of that, I'm sorry for the jet lag and the delay, but you'll be getting a report. Again, anybody that wants to start participating, I need to get around to some of you that I haven't tasted at for a while, and there's lots and lots of upcoming events. So let's talk about your Montepulciano. Speaking of
Montepulciano, all right.
Of yours.
Did we just release this, or we're gonna, or something? What's the story? I don't know. I haven't been here. Is it on the list? Is it not? You guys tell me.
Okay, so this is on the list. This is the wine that won a gold medal at
Hey!
Berlin. Medal.
I think it deserves at least a silver. What did you say? It got a gold. This awesome. Thank you.
So when I can, and I don't for all of the competitions, but when I can, I try to bring a sample to enter into the competition, just simply because I would like to see how our wines stand up to some of the really amazing European wines. And there's wines from all over the world being submitted to some of these competitions, and it's heavy duty competition. Then only the top 30% get medaled. So you have to rank so high in order to actually get a medal. So you can still be scored a silver or a gold, which would be phenomenal. But to actually get a medal is huge. And to get a gold, oh, so exciting.
Right.
So exciting.
No, we're totally honored. This is we've loved the Montepulciano. It's for years it's been doing really well for us, and we're totally stoked with it.
Of course, as a native to Italy, there's, we always like to talk about the confusion of there is a grape Montepulciano and then there's a town Montepulciano.
Mess you up every time.
Yeah, because they don't make the same wine. The town Montepulciano actually makes a Sangiovese wine. Yeah. So that's confusing. And then if you want the Montepulciano grape, you need to get Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. Abruzzo is the town.
If it says Montepulciano di somewhere, usually Abruzzo, that's actually using the grape Montepulciano. And that would be equivalent, or, in the same realm. Yeah. It would be judged together with this wine.
Yes.
Were it to be in a competition.
Yes, exactly. So it's, the Montepulciano is from New Mexico, Italy, Spain, wherever you can imagine. Unfortunately, some wines just now when I was judging at Strasbourg were supposed to be coming in from Ukraine, but of course got stuck in customs. So we missed out on some incredible wines from Ukraine, which is always really fun. Berlin actually gets wines from China and Japan, all through Central Europe, and of course, Western Europe, Romania. We get Africa. We get, you name it.
In Berlin, I think every night they put out a table full of some of the wines that they tasted that day.
Yes, you got to be my date.
And so I was the plus one, down there drinking all the wine, but not contributing to the cause or whatever. But every afternoon, well, actually, they just had it out 24 hours a day. Anytime you wanted, you could go down and pour whatever you wanted out from whatever they had out.
They take care of the drudges.
And I had never tasted Chinese wine, so that's what I did. I just sat there concentrating on the Chinese wines, and I swear I tasted maybe 75 Chinese wines. And they're weird. That's why I kept tasting them, because it's like it's a whole different ball game. It doesn't even taste like the wine that we know from all the other places in the world.
It is very unique.
They're doing something crazy over there.
Yeah, it's super extracted.
Super extracted. They're like twice the tannins of a Bordeaux, like weird stuff like that. It was and I liked it.
It's pleasant. It's not.
But it's hard. It's just different. It's a whole different thing.
Yeah. So anyway, that was pretty interesting. So here we've got a Montepulciano from a little tiny town in northern New Mexico up against Italians and everybody else that's making these amazing and sometimes very famous wines, and we got a gold. And so cheers.
Lots of cheerses.
Yes.
But yeah, no, that was great.
That was amazing. And so I think it's going to go really fast.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of talking to you guys about it is you probably should order it now if you're a fan of it. And, these wines just sell out so quickly. And I know that's a good thing and a bad thing. You know, it's one of those things, like, if you invested
We don't
and
mind
bought
it.
some,
Right.
then you're like, yay, me, I still have some. But if we are sold out of your favorite, that kind of sucks. But, you know, we're only getting better. I mean, Jesse and Chris are just killing it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As well are you guys. You and Lily are killing it.
Thanks, babe. Well, so did you have any tasting notes or pairings or anything that you'd like to share about the wine before we move on?
Nope. I leave that up to you. That's your realm.
We got some brand new patio furniture that Jesse's been putting together, and I think he's ready to go sit out there and enjoy a glass of wine after all of his efforts. Okay. Well, I love there's earthy context to the wine. It's got nice fruit, but it's also aged fruit, which is interesting because it's not that old of a vintage. I think it's very complex. It's not super bold, so it offers a lot of pairing options because of that. It still has nice acidity, but it's really more fruit tannin dominant.
Yeah.
And which makes it easier to drink on its own as well.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy it. I think it's fabulous. I like the idea of bacon. I feel like we should do something with bacon, like a really gourmet BLT would be really cool.
Oh man, or what about like that pork belly sandwich that we had in
in Amsterdam?
Amsterdam, that would be so good with this.
Gosh, yes. I can't believe, well, you can see I don't actually really fit in all my clothes because that's what happens when you go to Europe, but
I bought an extra large and I finally am fitting comfortably in a button up. Usually the buttons are kind of pulling, you know, it's not good because I think I'm going to lose weight and I never do. I only go up just a little bit by a little bit by a little bit.
You still look good, baby.
Oh, thank you.
Damn sexy. All right, so we do have 2 questions for this week.
What do we got?
Start writing in. Oops, sorry, Karen. Jeez.
Hey, Karen's here. Karen, we're back with our Fern, if that's what she is.
She's not a Fern, but she's our Fern.
She's Karen, our Fern. Anyway, what's your question?
So please write in more questions. Now that we're back, we're going to get back on track. So first question is, I want to take a bottle of wine to dinner, but I don't know what to take. I don't know what they like. How do I choose? And that is such a good question that a lot of people actually ask, you know, when they come into the tasting room all the time.
Right. I think you, are you asking me? Well, I'll answer and then you answer too.
Yeah.
To me, I would say you need to know you need to know some basic information. If you know nothing, it's really, really hard. But if you know some basic information, like when they drink wine, they kind of like it to be nicer, or when they drink wine, it's the cheapest thing that they can find on sale. Or, you know, like if that gives you some kind of starting point and you kind of want to...
what if you don't know them that well?
If you don't know them that well, give them something that represents you a little bit. I think,
I like that.
you know, you probably don't want to walk in with a $6 wine that's just, you know, even if it was on sale from a $10 one, you kind of want to give, it's a little bit of a gift, even though hopefully you get to take part in it, you know.
You're saying thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me. They've paid more than $10 for the food they're going to cook for you, and especially if you considered like their hours or something, which you don't. But like, you know, you kind of want to be like 15 and up. You want a decent bottle, a decent little bottle. It doesn't have to be extravagant, but it should be something pretty nice. And then if you know nothing else, go for what you like, and somewhere between what you like and what the general public likes.
A little bit of a crowd pleaser. That's a good one. Yeah,
lots of people like it, you know, lots of people like bubbly, lots of people like red wine. White wine's a little trickier. If they're wine drinkers, they probably like it all a little bit, so then you have more leeway. But if you don't know that, I would go for a non, not a huge fruit bomb or Tannenbaum wine. You kind of want something more like our Sangiovese or a medium-bodied red wine is probably the best. It goes with more food things, and it's more of a crowd pleaser. If you go for something that's too big, too heavy, you might be, canceling out half of the audience. I don't know.
Totally. And I think that there's also, sometimes what they're having, so what they're cooking. Yeah. And that, then you can pair with that. Yeah. But then there's also, maybe you just bring it and you give it to them as a gift and say, I got you this. Hopefully you can enjoy it sometime with just you two, or something like that.
Right. If it's nice. If it's a crowd of of 4th of July revelers and it's not going to be appreciated, you can say, hey, this is for you. Mm-hmm. Don't open it. Specifically, don't open it. Put it back in your bedroom somewhere. Mm-hmm. That we do that a lot sometimes.
Another wine that I highly suggest is rosés.
Rosés
they
are
go
great.
With everything. Yeah. Everybody loves them.
Yeah.
They are super easy, and
pop them right away.
And you can really choose your price range.
Often your host, right? Exactly. And often your hosts are going to have like what's going to go when. So your wine, even if it's meant to pair with dinner, they may already have an idea of what's mm-hmm. going with dinner. So in a party situation, it doesn't really, like, even for our 4th of July's or Thanksgivings or whatever, and mm-hmm. even in our family, my dad will have something really nice and expensive. Michelle's dad will have something really nice and expensive. We'll bring something really nice and expensive. And we're thinking, our sheep are out there going crazy.
It's not our sheep.
Not our sheep, it's our parents' sheep, but they're messing with the side of the house. Yeah, why don't you go out there and don't run away at least. That should be nice. Anyway.
Living on a farm. Yeah, that's so true. So we actually do a tasting before the meal of the really nice wines. Plus, it doesn't go that far. Everybody gets a little taste.
In a group of 10,
really wonderful.
Y'all taste it and it's gone,
Yeah, so. And then you can bring out something, like a little more bulk, where you have maybe a couple of bottles of, that amazing Vivac Tempranillo, or,
So, whatever so if you're being invited, just you guys and just the couple you're visiting, then bring them a really nice something. If it's a party,
and if it's something that you love too, just share what you love.
Exactly. But if it's a party, you don't worry about the cost so much. Just bring. Sometimes we'll bring 2 bottles, because we know we're going to drink 2 bottles probably between us, So if we at least put that into the pot of wine that we're, mm-hmm. we feel like at least we're not costing them on the alcohol level as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I always feel like if you can splurge a little bit, you can't every time you're going somewhere, but they will appreciate it. Okay.
And either way, don't be apologetic. Just give it to them with love and say,
exactly.
Here's your wine.
I hope you like it.
Let's do this or not,
I thought this looked interesting.
Exactly.
Or this is one of my favorites. I hope you like it.
Exactly.
Whatever. Don't take it so seriously.
Yeah.
You're bringing wine. I'm pretty sure they're going to be happy.
It's better than a lot of people do.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, sometimes people just show up empty-handed because they're like, I don't know what to do. And then, it gets expensive.
And then you look like a shining star when you have your... Even if it's an $8 bottle, they're like, oh, thank God they brought something.
Yeah, because now we have a party and there's not enough wine, which is the worst. All right, so the next question is, what can I do with old wine? So that's a good one, because there's a lot of people that don't drink every single day, which, what? But then you have a bottle that by the end of the week has been open for too long, and what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
I feel like there are lots and lots of recipes and YouTube videos and TikToks that you can make vinaigrette. You can make all kinds of things out of old wine because now it's pretty much vinegar.
I would still say you can do sangria any day of the week though. Like to
Oof.
well,
How
I mean,
old is
all
it?
right, it depends on how old. If it full on tastes like vinegar, that's a whole different deal. But
Yeah.
if it's just not pleasurable in a glass like this, but it's not off yet.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you smell it and you're just like, I just don't love it and I don't want to drink it like that, but it's not like it's not off, you know, it hasn't like started turning into vinegar or whatever. Then in that situation, you can definitely sangria the heck out of it, you know, put maybe a little vodka, maybe not, depending on how you like your sangria, and lots of fruit and some juices of any kind. And
Or Sprite or some sparkling water.
Sprite, actually, yeah, Sprite's really what you want to do.
It's also important to keep your wine in the fridge. Red wines in the fridge. So that's counterintuitive for a lot of people, but it will last a lot longer throughout your week, and then it will be a lot more pleasurable sangria.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in the refrigerator, depending on how much of a connoisseur you are, how much you want it to taste like it originally supposed to, like fresh, like right when you pop the cork. If you're not that worried about it, you can have a glass every other day, and or a glass or two every other day, and like 5 or 6 days later, it's still okay in the fridge. Not great, but okay.
Yeah. The other thing is you know, your mom made jams out of wine that, you know, wasn't hanging on, and it was great.
Yep.
I loved those. You can also marinate meat.
Yep.
You know, a lot of vinegar-based marinades are phenomenal that you soak your meat in before you cook it the next day. So use it that way. Both
wine and vinegar are really high acid marinade.
Yes.
So if you're marinating something, think of it as an acid marinade.
Yeah.
Whereas like milk is like a base. Milk is a base and fat, and this is like acid.
Yeah. The other thing is to think about now that we're getting into warmer weather. Well, are we? Okay, so it was hot, dry, horrible fires. We heard all about it for this entire time that we've been gone. We landed in Albuquerque and drove up from the airport. It started raining. It rained that night. It has rained every single day. It has been cool, even cold.
Almost cold.
So
we don't believe y'all.
Crazy.
We don't believe y'all that it's been hot and dry around here. This feels like Ireland, actually.
I feel like I'm
kind of like
in
Amsterdam.
Yeah. I'm like, do I need to get my jacket out again? But anyway, you know, warm weather drinks. I actually like to take wines that I don't feel like drinking a glass of. Sometimes they're too sweet for me, or have gone off, and you put them in the blender with ice and some juice. And you can also, again, you can make it sangria. With a lot of sangrias, kick it up a notch with vodka or some other booze. So you can do that with your slushy too.
Gins can be really good. As a sangria additive.
Oh,
by the way.
So great. And put it in the blender with ice. You're really going to enjoy it. So don't be afraid to play around with that.
Exactly.
All right, so that's it for us today. And write in your questions. We have an episode next week that, you know, hopefully we'll be able to touch on some of the things that you guys are thinking about as you're heading into 4th of July weekend. And then we'll do the Wine Club wines the first Thursday of every month. So we couldn't do that when we were abroad, but now we're back at it. So thank you guys so much.
Cheers, you guys. Happy Friday tomorrow.
And don't forget, when you buy a bottle, we plant a tree.
Yes, we do.
So remember to help the environment and buy Vivac.
Cheers, guys.